Hello, this is Judy Belmont with another emotional wellness tip of the day. With the challenges that we're facing with this pandemic, focusing on our mental health and wellness is even more important. So I'm going to be using various tips from my books and cards to help you and me stay positive. We'll get through this together. I strongly believe what doesn't weaken you will deepen you. So today I'm going to take a lesson from my Embrace Your Greatness book, and it's about the importance of self-compassion. Self-compassion is probably the most important ingredient to self-esteem. It used to be thought of that achievement and success was on the fast road to self-esteem. However, if you're above average in order to feel good about yourself, what happens to the bottom half? So if you compare yourself with others and achievement is the measuring stick to how worthy you are, you're going to be doomed to a lot of failure and a lot of emotional distress. So recent research has shown self-compassion is really the key to long-lasting self-esteem. So what is self-compassion? Self-compassion is the ability to be kind to yourself, to be forgiving, to not beat yourself up for making mistakes, to not be perfectionistic and feel like you should be a certain way. The more you're self-compassionate, the more you will speak to yourself as you would a friend rather than a foe. So how do we learn the lesson of self-compassion during these times of a pandemic? How is that going to help us be more compassionate? First, let yourself be more creative during this time. You don't necessarily need to be productive, and if you aren't productive as you think you should be compassionate and kind to yourself about that. Give yourself some slack. You've never been through this before. You don't know how you're going to react day by day or even minute by minute. So don't think that this is the time I should be organizing my spices and organizing my clothes closet. Give yourself some slack. Realize some days you might not want to do much of anything. Be kind to yourself. Realize this is the first time you're going through this, and maybe you need some time to recharge. So often we feel, okay, I finally have all this time, I have to do something. Well, doesn't mean that you can't do something, but don't feel like you should or you have to do something. And that, again, will change day by day or minute by minute, because sometime we need to honor our feelings that we just don't want to do anything. But that in itself is doing something. We're choosing to experience the moment. We're being a human being instead of a human doing. So it's very important during that time to be mindful. Be mindful of what's around you. I've seen flowers in the last couple of weeks I've never even noticed that was around me. I'm being more mindful of everything that's around me because I'm slowing down a bit. So the most important thing to remember is to be kind to yourself during this time. Don't expect yourself to do too much, but that doesn't mean that if you're feeling creative, that you can't express it. This might be a time to think out of the box and think in different ways and try different things that normally you wouldn't have time to try. There's no right way to handle your stress. Also, during this time, reach out to others, because the best way that we grow ourselves is through relationships. And maybe they're a little bit more virtual now. Maybe they're through the phone or through the computer. But that doesn't mean that we still can't reach out. And that is also important. So I'm going to leave you with this thought as I leave for each of my videos. There are some things that we might never get over, but that doesn't mean that we can't get through it, and it still can be beautiful on the other side. Thank you.